Hi, I'm Eric Tapp, Mission Partner Environment Lead here at GDIT. Previously, I spent 21 years in the United States Army, and while at United States Central Command, I led a team that developed the first operational data-centric mission partner environment. I'm joined today by Nick Townsend, GDIT's Intelligence Senior Director for Growth and Innovation, to talk about challenges and unique solutions for information sharing for defense and intelligence organizations. Nick, it's good to see you.
Thanks, Eric. Good to be here. I'm excited to talk to you today about some of our mission partner environments, as well as kind of how we're doing data sharing at GDIT and across our customers' landscape.
Let's dive right in. There's definitely some challenges we're seeing from the Department of Defense side, and you could really categorize it into two groupings. The first is technology. We're still sharing information with mission partners using legacy systems that are air-gapped, specifically built for those particular mission sets or those particular information sharing agreements. And we're still reliant on cross-domain solutions. So while it serves its purpose for information sharing, it's certainly not going to be what we need for a warfighting environment. The second grouping is policy. Policy has certainly not kept up with the technology. And while there has been some evolution to support things like zero trust slowly, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done to really enable the warfighter and use that technology to its fullest capability. And so the impacts that we're seeing from these limitations in the technology and the policy is we are hindering the speed at which they can communicate, both at the strategic level and at the tactical edge, and also scalability. Because the geographic combatant commands have built solutions that meet their information sharing requirements regionally, sharing globally has become difficult, and that's certainly an area where we're going to need to solve in the future.
Totally agree. So I like that you brought up legacy systems. So our customers rely on these larger legacy systems for their intelligence mission as well as their DoD mission. And there are a couple of challenges that we've seen. One of them very traditional, one of them emerging that we're going to need to get ahead of. So the first is what you mentioned. There's a problem with legacy systems in that sometimes they lead to air gaps or data silos. And that could be a challenge for analysts and warfighters across domains to get the information that they need. But there's a bigger challenge moving ahead. So what used to be a challenge for system to user has become an exponential challenge in system to system. So if we're going to help our customers with AI/ML solutions, being able to inference and train data sets across wide domains and large, diverse data sets, we can't have these silos. So what is a annoyance or a delay in an analyst receiving, let's say, imagery, isn't catastrophic for the ability to train large data sets that way. So our solutions have to be looking at how do we not only enhance that system to user to make sure that our users or our customers' users are getting their data faster and when they need it, but how do we get the system-to-system connection so that as customers build their new data platforms, each system can interact and work to bring modern, even commercial or GDIT solutions to their workloads?
Absolutely. No, and system-to-system interoperability is going to be critical when you look at how we transition from an information sharing environment to a warfighting environment.
Certainly.
Those warfighting systems have to be able to communicate at machine speeds, or they're just not going to be able to effectively perform their mission.
I agree.
So Nick, what makes some of our approaches to information sharing unique?
Definitely great question. So one of the big issues, at least for the intelligence community, they have a geography problem. What is a lot easier for a typical data provider, to provide data to where the population lives. Like the intelligence mission is typically where everyone's not. It is in more disadvantaged environments, disconnected environments, and in areas where there's not good service and good connectivity. So we at GDIT have been trying to provide and are showing our customer what more global data solutions look like. Some of those include mesh data networks that mirror some of the more modern content delivery technologies to get data to the warfighter or to the analyst or to the machine at the place where it's collected. So our customers have a kind of a new term. It's called a sensor to effect. What this means is as we collect or as our government collects information, how does that information get in front of the person that needs to see it as fast as possible? Kind of the legacy model of maybe, for example, downloading satellite imagery, bringing it down to a server, putting all the ELT on that data and sending it out to other systems, which are then going to be put in front of the analyst. How do I get that image right in front of an analyst seconds after it was collected? So our data networks have to enable that through, and I think we'll kind of get into this, building data platforms, getting away from data systems and legacy systems, but true data platforms that enable modern architectures, modern commercial tools and government tools that can reside on those platforms, so that we can take advantage of these newer technologies that our customers need.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anytime we can enhance speed, we're definitely providing significant benefit to the warfighter. We're also looking at some similar things on the DoD side. We're developing solutions for strategic and tactical. And because we're looking at tactical, we're also looking at the DDoS problem set. Denied, degraded, intermittent, and limited connectivity is important to solve for, because these systems have to function from the strategic layer all the way down to that very tactical warfighting edge. So we're implementing capabilities and technologies like zero trust. These environments are going to be categorized as interoperable, zero trust-based, data-centric environments. We've got data tagging and attribute-based access control, which are critical to enabling that access. And we're also incorporating identity credentialing and access management to ensure that we know who is accessing what at all times. And so with these systems, we're able to provide some pretty distinct benefits to the warfighter. One, it's back to that speed, right? We're going to be able to enhance their ability to make decisions at the speed of relevance and the speed of operations, which is critical. And because we're able to enhance that speed, we're able to provide information to the right people at the right place at the right time, we can have enhanced situational awareness, which is going to also provide the additional benefit of enhanced quality of decisions, because you have a more common understanding of what's going on at the environment at any given moment.
Yeah, and you bring up a really interesting point. Like, data sharing is a lot of times a security issue, but it is a general requirement, especially in the intel space, to make sure you're getting the information to the people who need it. So I like when you talk about using kind of automation to quickly and more rapidly get the information transferred. Sometimes that's just, how do we take something that might be highly classified, but automate the detection and extraction of the data that's needed, and then declassify or lower the classification and transmit that data down to the warfighter who needs it. Those are challenging solutions. So the GDIT's zero trust capabilities are kind of leading the way in how we're getting that information to the warfighter or the analyst faster.
Absolutely. So Nick, clearly technology is an enabler in this space. What are some key technologies that you're seeing from the intelligence community side?
Sure. So you hear me keep saying data platform. So I think data is going to be fundamental when it comes to information sharing, obviously. So let's take a look at it just from what is a data platform and why is it important, and what are we doing to enable that? Moving from the legacy system, where you have kind of hardware, software integrated. These perform fairly well, but we're getting to the point now where we need data solutions that can transcend individual systems, just as we discussed. So I think the first part of that is that we need to make sure that our customers are adopting modern architectures. This includes, cloud compatibility. This includes modern software development pipelines and practices. This includes significant automation for how we're deploying these capabilities. And the second piece of that is our customers want modern tool sets. One of the challenges of those legacy systems is that a lot of those have to be custom built and custom coded, while the commercial technology far outpaces the ability for the government to develop some of these capabilities. So when we say a data platform, we want to build this environment where modern tools can be used, modern architectures can be used, so we at least have a baseline for a technological compatibility across these services. So we are doing this for our customers today, and one example is the idea of global mesh networks. So these mesh networks are service-oriented, so they're kind of taken away from that locked-in hardware. We're building this on commodity hardware. Think of something like Netflix, where you're sharing data across multiple servers across the world. It doesn't really matter what the fundamental hardware is. It's the service that matters. So we're deploying these services. We're helping our customers develop these data microservices in many cases that can be easily coupled. They're cloud native and compatible. We can use, in those DDoS environments that you mentioned, we can run these services on commodity hardware. When we have more connectivity, we can take advantage of all the cloud has to offer. So we're really bringing these hybrid data solutions to our customers so that they can run the applications, run the workloads, including AI/ML workloads, to really increase the speed of both data sharing and kind of the sensor to effect model. So Eric, obviously policy, governance, there's a lot of challenges in actually sharing this information in our space, both DoD and the intelligence community. How do you see us tackling the challenge of getting through tougher policies and ensuring that we're providing the governance we need or our customers need for data sharing?
Yeah, it's absolutely a challenge. And obviously it starts with the technology, making sure that our customers understand what the technology is actually capable of. But I think there's a large part that falls back on industry. There's so many policies out there that govern how information is shared, information security levels. I think industry has the ability to share down fairly well. What we need to improve our ability is understanding the permissions to share. And that's, I think, critical because that's going to shape the way that we develop solutions. It's going to shape the way that we engage with our customers. And it's really going to provide that benefit to the customer of helping them understand what they don't really know so that we can shape those policies in the future. So it's critical that as we're looking at technology that we don't just get glamorized by that, the capability, we have to put it into context. There are limitations. There's NATO, there's governing bodies out there that aren't necessarily just US that we need to be aware of. And the better armed that we are when we go to these engagements and we build these solutions, the better off our customer is going to be because not only will we be able to leverage capability now, but we'll help them shape the policy of the future so we can leverage this capability and technology to its fullest extent. So Nick, we've covered a lot of ground today. What are some key takeaways from our conversation before we break for the afternoon?
Sure. So fundamentally, we are trying to take our customers through a digital transformation where it makes sense. We've talked about things like data platforms, like using service-oriented technology, like automating some of the needs and development effort to roll out these capabilities. And fundamentally, our users and our customers want to experience what AI/ML has to offer. They want to see these modern capabilities be applied to their mission workloads so they can take full advantage of them. So really what we're talking about here in this digital transformation is providing an open landscape where they can put these tools, put these capabilities, and orchestrate it in a way that increases the speed of data sharing, which is fundamentally what they're trying to achieve. So it's clear we are experiencing some of the same things across the customer spaces. What are you guys seeing on the DoD side?
Nick, I'm really excited about the future that we have ahead of us. The idea of and the reality of a fully integrated multinational fighting force is definitely upon us. And we have a key role in enabling that. I've talked about the different technologies that we're going to be able to leverage to help the government meet their information sharing requirements and their warfighting requirements. I think we have the right people and the right technology, both in industry and on the government side, to really break this thing wide open. And so I think that as we move forward, ensuring that we have that right grasp of technology and policy as we bring these solutions to bear for our government partners is going to enable us to provide them the greatest benefit to their warfighting functions, as well as ensuring that they have the capability that they need well into the future.
Absolutely.
And with that, Nick, I want to thank you for your expert insight today and discussion. It was really good. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Eric. You as well.
For more on information sharing and mission partner environment, check out gdit.com/perspectives.